Mom said it casually, the way she always did. Fork paused midair, smile tight, eyes flicking toward my sister like she was presenting a trophy. Your sister's baby will be perfect, she said. So healthy, so beautiful. When's your turn? The table went quiet. My sister smiled, one hand resting on her stomach, already soaking up the attention. Dad nodded like this was settled fact. Aunts leaned in. Everyone waited for my answer. I felt that familiar pressure in my chest. Years of comments stacked on top of each other. Too quiet, too sensitive, too late, always behind. Hey, if you enjoy my content, please subscribe and hit the bell. Your support means everything and helps me keep creating. Thank you so much. I took a sip of water, set the glass down. It already happened, I said. The smile froze on Mom's face. What? I said. I repeated calm, steady. It already happened. My sister laughed, nervously. Is this a joke? No. Dad frowned. What are you talking about? I looked at each of them. The same people who never came to my doctor appointments. Who changed the subject whenever I said I wasn't okay. Who decided my life timeline for me without asking. I was pregnant, I said, last year. Silence hit hard. Not shock. Not concern. Something closer to inconvenience. Mom's voice dropped. Why didn't you tell us? I almost laughed. Almost. Because every time I spoke, you told me I was overreacting. She waved her hand. Well, why didn't it work out? There it was. No softness. No pause. I swallowed. I lost the baby. My sister's eyes widened. Oh my God. Mom sighed. Actually sighed. Well, these things happen. Something in me snapped, not loudly, not dramatically, just clean. Final. You asked when my turn was. I said, that was my turn. Dad cleared his throat. Why bring this up now? Because you brought it up. I replied. Because you keep measuring worth by milestones and pretending nothing exists unless it fits your picture. Mom leaned back. You should have moved on by now. That was the moment, not the loss, not the hospital room, not the silence afterward. This. I stood up. You don't get to decide how long grief lasts. Mom's face hardened. Sit down. No. I picked up my bag. My hands weren't shaking. My voice didn't crack. You wanted perfection. I said, you never wanted truth. As I walked toward the door, Mom said something that made me stop cold. You're being dramatic, just like always. I turned around. No, I said quietly. I was invisible, and I'm done being quiet about it. I left before anyone could respond. I didn't know it yet, but that dinner was the beginning of everything unraveling. I didn't go home after that dinner. I drove until the city lights thinned and the road opened up, the kind of empty stretch where thoughts finally get loud enough to be honest. My phone buzzed once. Then again. Mom. Dad. I ignored both. They didn't want to talk. They wanted control back. I pulled into a quiet parking lot and just sat there, hands on the wheel, breathing. I thought about the months they never saw, the appointments I went to alone, the ultrasound photo folded into my wallet because I didn't know where else to put it, the night I sat on the bathroom floor bleeding, telling myself not to panic because no one would come anyway. I had told one person, only one, Maya. She was my friend from work, not close in a dramatic way, just steady. The kind of person who listens without interrupting. When I called her that night, she didn't say, everything happens for a reason. She said, I'm on my way. She sat with me in the hospital room while I stared at the ceiling. She brought soup afterward. She didn't disappear when things got quiet and uncomfortable. My family did. The next morning, Mom left a voicemail. You embarrassed your sister, she said. That was not the time or place to make it about you. I replayed it twice. Not because I needed to, because I wanted to hear it clearly. Dad texted, "We should talk. You owe your mother an apology." I didn't reply. Instead, I went to work. Around noon, my sister called. I almost didn't answer. Almost. "What was that?" she demanded, skipping any greeting. "Why would you say something like that at dinner?" "Because Mom asked." "You could have just said you're not ready," she snapped. "Now everyone's acting weird around me." I closed my eyes. "You're upset because attention moved off you for 1 minute. That's not fair." Neither was pretending my life didn't exist. She lowered her voice. "You know Mom didn't mean anything by it. She meant exactly what she said." There was a pause. Then, "So what, you want sympathy?" "No," I said. "I wanted respect. I wanted silence instead of pressure." She scoffed. "You always make things heavy." That word again. Heavy. Like grief was clutter. "Don't call me again," I said. "What?" "Not about this. Not about the baby. Not about Mom. I'm done." I hung up before she could respond. That night, my parents showed up at my apartment. I didn't open the door. Mom knocked harder. "We know you're in there." "I'm not doing this," I said through the door. "Dad, try to calm her tone. We just want to understand." I laughed. Not kindly. "You had a year." Mom's voice sharpened. "You're tearing this family apart." "No," I said. "I stopped holding it together for you." She went quiet, then softer. "You should have told us." I leaned my forehead against the door. "You should have noticed." That landed. No reply. Just the sound of them leaving. Over the next few weeks, the narrative shifted. Quietly. Dangerously. An aunt texted asking if I was okay mentally. A cousin hinted I'd been unstable lately. Someone told me Mom was worried I was spiraling. They weren't worried about me. They were worried about the story. So I did something they never expected. I told the truth. Not loudly. Not on social media. Just clearly. I spoke to my aunt. My cousin. My grandmother. I told them exactly what happened. No tears. No exaggeration. Just facts. The pregnancy. The loss. The silence. The dinner. People didn't react the way my parents hoped. They didn't see drama. They saw neglect. Grandma called me herself. Her voice was sharp. Why wasn't I told? "I didn't think anyone wanted to know," I said. She was quiet for a long moment. "Then that ends now." The family group chat changed tone overnight. Less judgment. More awkward politeness. Fewer messages from Mom. Then came the call that shifted everything. It was my dad. "We need to clear the air," he said. "Your mother is very upset." I finally answered him calmly. "This isn't about her feelings anymore." Silence. "You don't get to rewrite my grief to make yourself comfortable." I continued. "If you want me in your life, it happens on different terms." "What terms?" he asked. "Respect," I said, "and honesty, or nothing." He didn't answer right away. And that's when I realized something important. They were losing control. They thought I'd fold, that I'd come back once the silence got uncomfortable. Instead, I moved forward. I stopped showing up to dinners, stopped explaining myself. When Mom sent a long message about family unity, I replied with one sentence, "I'm choosing peace." Weeks passed. The pressure shifted into panic. Grandma invited everyone to her house. I almost didn't go. I did anyway. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to. "I know everything now," she said, looking straight at my parents. "And I'm ashamed of how you treated your daughter." Mom tried to speak. Grandma held up her hand. "You don't get to demand grandchildren and then disappear when pain shows up." The room went still. She turned to me. "You're not broken. You were ignored." I didn't cry. I breathed. For the first time, my family saw the truth, and they couldn't unsee it.